am always in the mix doing something, but we're going to do something a little different today. I have our guest here in person with me, Miss Kyli Hammond. Also, while I'm talking, you all, I'm going to have to bounce in between because I was a keynote speaker at a conference out of California. So if you all would bear with me as questions are coming in, we're trying to wrap it up. And I wanted to show how you could do whatever you want to do. I don't make excuses for anything. It just happened that I had to get our guests on and I had to get her off because she has to respect her time. So without further ado, I introduce to you Miss Hammond.
Miss Hammond, yes. Hello, guys. Am I looking at the right there? Okay, so I look over there and I put my eyes are looking the opposite way. It's nice to be on here. I'm honored. I'm excited to see all of this right now.
I'm sorry, what was that again? What was the question?
What topics are you covering on your weekly and monthly programs?
We actually talk about whatever that farmer's doing in her or his operation. We try to highlight exactly who they are, where they're from, and exactly what they are doing in the ag industry as a whole in this world. What we do and what we're starting to do is couple that with the NRCS or FSA agent on our show. So therefore, we have some intentional resources right there at their fingertips. And we've done that coming out in Mexico, and it worked really well as well in South Carolina. We've had that, simultaneously we'll have the farmer, and then we'll have the USDA agent to talk about the program. So it's kind of like 2 and 3 in 1, if you will. So it's just for various. Like right now, my guest, she runs a whole magazine. Yes. So we are wanting to highlight her, what she's doing in the agriculture industry. She comes here also and volunteers in our community gardens.
So it's much like a peer-to-peer mentor type of program. I think that's great because it's especially for you and aspiring farmers who are still trying to dream up what their farm operations will look like. What an amazing opportunity to join in on your weekly programs and listen to what are other farmers around the world doing, and perhaps where's that niche market for your farm business model. We're going to go to Nancy Rose. Rose, were you able to find the date for the Sacramento 2023 Agriculture Conference?
I was. I should have.
You guys, this is going to be really goofy, and I'm so sorry. I did not realize that it was going to be this difficult, but we're right at the end. There's questions and answers, so I'm kind of jumping in and out, but I wanted to give Ms. Kyli another opportunity to literally say what you do.
Okay, so what I do, I started a submission-based women's magazine in Oklahoma in 2019. And the idea was to create a platform to give women this magazine to share their stories. And then by doing so, it kind of created and cultivated into what it is today, 3 years later, which it is now not just a printed magazine for women to share their stories. We have our podcast. We do events where women get up and share their most authentic, intimate details about their lives, things that they've been through, experienced, and they want to share with other women because they are healing through it. And then other women get healed by listening, and it's just bringing all of these women together, just really be authentic and talk about their truth. And so it kind of cultivated over 3 years into this, because I started it with just the vision of, why don't we have a magazine where women can share their stories, and it's a submission based, so they have the ability to write it. And I have a lot of women tell me, well, I'm not a writer. So in those 3 years, I've also come up with, okay, well, we're going to have a writing coach on staff eventually, because I want these women to share their stories. And my vision is an office with all these big desks and like the tall ones with the tall wooden bar stools and just women in there writing and having somebody walking around, being like, oh, okay, can you help? This is what you want to say. Maybe let me help you curate this to say this. And then, because we're so afraid of writing, but I always tell women, when you want to write your story, just write it as if you're talking to me and you're telling me your story. Because if you're telling me it and you're telling it to me and you're explaining it in detail, you're explaining, you're talking, that's just write it.
That's exactly. Put it on paper.
Transcribe it.
I always tell people, put it on paper.
Right.
Put it on paper. Put it on paper.
Exactly.
And Give us the name of your magazine.
It's called the Oklahoma Women's Journal.
Oklahoma Women's Journal.
Yes.
And you founded that, you said, approximately 3 years ago?
Yes.
So how did you find us? I mean, it's my understanding that you were doing some volunteering in our community garden, and I was like, okay, yes, I want to speak to her.
Yes, okay, so I was like, how can we do something for the Women's Journal where we're showing the community that we want to give back, that this is literally all that we want to do. So first I had actually done a fundraiser for the Positive Tomorrow's children, like in June of 2020. And so that was our first real fundraiser thing on really getting involved in the community, and I loved it. I was just like, I want to do more. So then I reached out to OKC Beautiful because I had volunteered with them years ago with the Embassy Suites. I worked with them a while back, and so I got involved. And then they had done a couple, and then we came here, and I was just in love with what you were doing by creating something for young underprivileged kids to have a place to learn that they can grow their own food, that you have the ability to literally create your own career out of this.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And it's a sustainable career.
Yes.
Well, I can't say enough about what you're doing, because women like you, you're like doing community work in itself outside of even coming and giving back. Because for you to do that platform to get our voices out there, there's not very many people, and it's only, I always tell people, I try to mentor the younger people like yourself, God only chosen, it's only 10% of us that truly do a thorough give back. You know, most people, and my uncle always says, there are rivers and there are ponds. You're a river, you flow out. Ponds sit there, and it's nothing wrong with them either. They just make their own money and they take care of themselves, and they're a part of this whole community thing also. So I commend you for doing such a thing, and I encourage you to start it as a nonprofit. Because therefore you can get grants for what you're doing. And that's by going to grants.gov. If you haven't, go to that.
No.
You've never heard of that? So
No.
grants.gov is an actual location where you find all type of grants. Where you'll start your nonprofit, so you all understand this whole process. Go to IRS. Literally, they have, it's called 501c3 nonprofit. That's exemption status that puts you and assures you that you are a nonprofit and you're able to go for grants. That's kind of the verification. Not a hard process. You're a writer. It's click, 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 get it done. And in a few months, maybe 3 months, I think it's a faster turnaround because now everything's electronic.
Right.
So that's a little nugget that I gave you by being on the top.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we're all about. As you see, like I said, I can't apologize enough because today I was literally, like I said, on a conference. I'm literally in conference in California virtually. Yeah, it's really, it's amazing in Oklahoma what technology would do. I keep watching my assistant so she can think of like, okay, they're asking you more questions, you can come back on. However, Kyli, I do want to talk about how can people get in touch with you and learn more about what you're doing, as well as make an offer to you if you're interested in even coming and start writing articles for our organization on a monthly.
Right.
And I would pay, our organization would pay you because we need a good writer to do a newsletter or put something into our app. And I'm being intentional because I'm online. Because you can see I'm like one of those people. I do not play.
You put me on the spot because I'm like, okay, how can I
just rewind me back. So if you want to like say,
I will.
She said,
I will.
Okay, so tell us, how can they get in touch with you?
Okay, so the best way is through email. To get in touch with me in anything regarding any writing and what you're looking for, whether that is to have somebody come and help you write your newsletter. And so here's the kind of I think that a lot of times I have to explain a little bit about the fact that I'm not a writer.
Okay.
See, so I feel like I haven't had the opportunity really to tell people how I really started this. I did this without college or anything. I was a bartender and a server, and I had this idea, and I had to teach myself everything. So I literally taught myself how to design the magazine. I don't know how to write, because I journal, but I was like, okay, so we need women to start submitting these stories to get this going and to grow this. So these women have this ability now to have this as their little it's flowing because of all the women who have been a part of it, who have jumped on board, who believed in it, and yes, we need this. And I'm like, they're like, well, we need somebody to go do an article over here and over here. I'm like, guys, I'm not a real journalist. I just had this idea, and I'm just like, the idea person.
So you're the coordinator, but you're still the ideal behind it. You came up with you're missionary.
Visionary,
Visionary, and missionary, because you're out in the community and you're helping other women tell their story
Right.
and get it out further into the mainstream.
Right.
So you all see it, how to get in touch with Miss Kyli. It says the okwomen'sjournal.com. Do you do anything outside of Oklahoma?
So actually, that is our plan. We've just expanded it to becoming nationally, like submissions nationally accepted. I have thought about this for the last 3 years because when I started it, I named it the Women's Journal. Okay. When I looked up that name for the LLC, because you have to make sure no one else has it, there was a women's journal that was ran from 1870 to 1930 in Massachusetts by Lucy Stone and her daughter. They were suffragettes, so it was a journal for women talking about suffragette news and all of that. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. There's a women's journal. I'm going to name it the Oklahoma Women's Journal. Right. And so then I was like, well, what if I want to go national? What am I going to name it? It's the women. Well, yeah, but I'm going to just keep it Oklahoma because it is this is where the roots are.
And that's it.
And then it's just going to go out like a freaking spider web.
And that's how our organization is founded also. You know, we're in the middle of the country and we have 64 national chapters.
Wow.
And we're also international.
Oh my God.
We have
Tammy, that is
14.
incredible.
We are, like they say, this one actor, we are global, literally. And it started right here on this corner in the underserved community of Oklahoma City.
I'm like gonna get chills.
You're fine. No. And I'm very humbly and thankful because I'm looking at you, you stay consistent. And I tell younger people, that is the only way you will become successful. Is to stay consistent against all the odds that's against you, because when you're doing this work, you have so many that you will come against so many obstacles, because anything that is of God ordained for many, that's the way it's designed, that to see, it's a test to see if this is really for you. And when the test comes, you have to be able to stay rooted and grounded that this is what I was called to do. You see it's growing. And like you just got connected to 64 more chapters. You're connected. I mean, now you're connected. Or you want to go national? Go. And I am the type. I provide those platforms and those networks because that's what I'm here to do. I give them to you. You're welcome to contact any of our chapter leaders that are on our website. You just click into it. Their name is there. Their email address is there. Tell them, hey, Dr. Jamie told me to call you.
I want to create a part of the magazine where these like growers and these farmers can write in the recipes of, you know, what they're growing and then what they're taking from their like their actual garden, and then they're gonna go cook something with it. Well, give us that recipe, write it down, write why you love what you do. And so it's like, that's what this journal is. It's I see light and like just happiness and joy. And I was actually told, I'm gonna tell you something funny. So they said, why don't you make it a Christian journal for women? And I said, well, I wouldn't reach the ones I want to reach though. Because if I just narrow it down to one niche, no.
You can't.
No.
And the thing is, I'm non-denominational also as
I
well
was,
as independent. I go with what my heart is, and the thing is to keep growing and growing and growing.
Continuously.
And the thing is with you, you're younger, and I look at you and I'm like, wow, she's doing it. You've been in it 3 years, solid, consistently. And I know in the 3 years, I know you've seen so much.
Oh God, yeah.
And you just know, think about being here 15 years, kind of February.
Oh my God, how much
we
growth.
Oh my goodness. And it's on a shoestring budget. I mean, because, you know,
Same.
some years we don't hit grants. Other years we'll hit, but we take it and we share it. Because we keep, you know, we do all the paperwork here in Oklahoma to make sure they're good to go in other states.
That's incredible.
Free.
Oh my gosh.
And again, like I say, free, you guys, we're not charging anyone. They have a question. You guys, again, I'm going to have to pause and thank you for being a part of National Women in Ag Wednesday talk show. I am currently at a conference in California and I have to log in. Hold on just a moment, please. Bear with me. Hello, I'm back with you guys. Let me turn you up. glitch.
Yes, so we were just talking about barriers that women are facing in entering into the agricultural space, whether it be business resources or agricultural resources. During your monthly programs and the advocacy work that you're doing, is there a common theme that surfaces with women entering into the agricultural space as farmers?
Most definitely. And I tell people, and I don't try to use it as an excuse. Try to be a woman. I'm a dual minority, if you not see. I'm a woman and then also I'm Afro-American. So it's really difficult to convince some, I should not say all, because we wouldn't be here if we didn't have good leadership that makes sure resources get to our chapters and to the places. There are barriers, when I say more so, you have the women against women. And sometimes there are women that look like me that are there. You have male ego, minority men that I tell people, and I have no problems with. I have less pushback and barriers from Caucasian men leaders. And I'm very transparent. When I say that, I mean, it's a business deal. They're businessmen. They run this country. They run the world. And when they see us as a minority women, because I know women, we're going to get it done. That's what we do. We're nurturers. We wear several hats. And we're able to take care of the children, cook, run a business from home. We're able to do it all. Work in the community, work in our churches. We do it all. And they see that. And they don't see us as a threat because they have male egos. And that's what they do. They know they're going to be the lead, if you will, because it's designed like that. So those barriers that we have, I am thankful for all, even like there are leaders that look like me as far as from the male side. Again, I got to know my place. And I say that when I come. Your delivery, soften it up a little bit. And I said, okay. And I do talk. Usually I'm very submissive and very, how would I say? I'm very direct. That's just my personality because this is an urgent matter when we're dealing with our children and with farmers that need help. And if the story is not articulated and told and sold, if you will, through pictures and work that they can come out and touch and see, it doesn't happen. You know, we had to have the numbers where we are now. Now there's no question about it. You go click into any nonprofit, we can wear the title as the largest nonprofit minority organization in the world. And that's period. Go click into our website, go count the numbers, Google, research. We've done it. The resources are not there to the level where we want them to be by no means. But back to your question, those are the barriers. It's just amongst the true, it's just the traditional jealousy or whatever silliness, that's what I call it. Because long after I'm gone, National Women in Agriculture will go on as a result of breaking and tearing down those walls that has held inequities and non-inclusion for years. So that's it.
Thank you, Tammy. And I think you hit on a lot of the social barriers just with entering into a new space and the challenges that women face across the spectrum, maybe not all being farmers. As we move on, and for those that are tuning in, and if you just tuned in or you're watching this video on the net, you tuned in to the Beginning Farmer Rancher series in California, and today we're having a conversation with Dr. Tammy Steele, founder and director of the National Women in Agricultural Association, and also current vice president of American Ag Women and past president of California Women in Agriculture, Chris Tryon. Thanks so much for being here. We actually have hit the end of our program, but we're kindly asking if you stick with us for another 25 minutes to 11:30, and as we're starting to get more questions coming into the program, I can see Dwayne, you had your hand up. Dwayne, welcome, and please ask your questions.
Can you go ahead and give what contact and you have a website?
Right now? Okay, our website is theowj.com. And then we also have our Instagram handle. It's okwomensjournal.com, and that's just the letters O and then K. That's also our Facebook handle, and then that will also be our TikTok handle. I'm meeting with somebody today who's gonna do our TikTok for us, who's younger than I am. So yeah. incredible. I'm so interested in this right now.
Because she's gonna be our journalist, or get someone to be a
Yeah.
journalist, I should say.
Yeah.
Because we need that, and it's a great opportunity, where they can get paid. I mean, we will pay because we gotta have someone consistently doing it.
I have a girl named Megan Patrick
Please have her.
who I need to have her come talk to you and talk with you. She's a sweet soul. Just like so kind, and I think she really is passionate. Like she reminds me kind of of you today, just like ready for anything. Like she's like, what can I do?
Okay, I'll agree to take the lead on that one. You mentioned it just in your dress and your presentation. How are you engaging with the next generation, with the youth, with the young people, to inspire them to get involved in agriculture, whether it be in advocacy, as an ag professional, or to become a farmer?
It's quite simple, you know, I just be who I am, but what I do, I provide the opportunities, I don't block the opportunities. When I say that, they wanna make a bag, you know, most young people, they wanna make some money. All that health and growing the vegetables, it sounds good to us because we're older and me. I keep growing every day, seems like, but when I'm able to appeal to them by what I wear, the way I look, and that's part of who I am, but I make sure that they understand that you could come and work and do programs here on our grounds. I'm talking directly, and then our other chapters actual model behind what I'm doing here. We pay our teenagers with the workers permit and the caveat of having good grades and going to school consistently. I also throw in there, this is from Tammy as a mama, or mommy and an auntie, you have to be respectable at home and in the community, because you can't be a part of our group and be Huron and whatever they call it now. I'm not saying the wrong language, because again, I'm not caught up on that. I'll talk to my sister, she'll be telling, wilding out. There it is, right there. You can't be wilding out and being a part of our organization to make us look bad, because we're working on a sustainable movement. And we want you to be a part of it, and we're gonna pay you anywhere from $10 to $15 an hour to come in and help us grow food for the community. And the best part of it, you can run and assist with working, but we're also gonna let you make two incomes. You can grow the food, and the food, I buy the seed, the seedling, all that good stuff. We actually let you sell it. We add another piece, so you learn how to be an entrepreneur on your own. And we'll also brand you. Again, it's a gift to keep them engaged. And that's probably why we have surpassed or been able to maintain and grow the way we have, because we keep giving and making sure that it's intentional. And then we take them on trips. Like I said, when I say trips, when we have a national symposium, or we got to go to DC and speak with legislators, we have pictures where they went on the Hill and spoke to congressmen themselves. And it was Republicans primarily. And they mentor on the spot, because they know this is good, this is historical. Our nation needs this. This is the solution to poverty issues. And I named a few that we could eradicate. So it's just making sure you present those opportunities. We have a program called Hip Hop Producers. Now you tell me that's gonna ring a bell. Hip Hop Producer, we have the cool blue t-shirt with the boombox on front and food coming after. It's kind of corny to some, but you can't tell our teenage young men nothing when they're all together having those t-shirts. And on the back though, this is the caveat. Hip Hop Producers, a chapter of National Internet Ag. So they're part of something that they're representing. And then the girls, the young ladies, when they reach into their junior agri-diva education, that's the Jades. My daughter's name is Jade, and I named it from her. That's junior agri-diva education. Well, what are we? We're the agri-divas. That's what we are. I'm an agri-diva. That's my handle on Instagram. So, and it just kind of flows. And then when we get in front of like college students, they're constantly saying, Miss Kimmy, we want to be like you. You know, we want to, and right now I'm working with some different designers to hopefully become an ambassador in agriculture for them, to bring in another piece. Who doesn't like Gucci? Who doesn't like Ralph Lauren or Polo? Well, let's tie this in with agriculture and be that face, and that looks like me, where they could see it. So again, it's just kind of just getting out of our way and being real intentional and meeting our children where they are and giving them something. That's it.
So I'll just follow up with that a little bit from our standpoint, and that's pretty amazing, the outreach that you guys are doing, and I would love to see both of our organizations work together on some projects, so that would be awesome, please stay in touch.
I will.
And just so that you guys know, for some reason, I cannot see the chat box. So for those people who want my email address.
Well, I am going to go ahead and, in our talk show, unless you, Kylie, have something, I think that we've got your information. I think we are connected. You all who want to get in contact with Kylie to tell your story, well, you have it right here.
Yes.
They're going national. It's just not here in Oklahoma,
Yes.
but it's a platform and a magazine for women. And I wanted to bring something unique to finish out our end of the year. Our end of the year is actually in Friday. We're done for the fiscal year. We follow the federal government calendar. October 1 starts up our new year, so you are so timely. See how divine intervention brings it all together.
And I just looked at the clock and screenshotted it, said 1:11. So I was like, I always see 11:11, 1:11 every day when something's happening good. So
I've seen that before,
Yeah,
and
it
I always wonder what that
it
means.
means you're aligned with you're aligned with the universe.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm
So
getting chills. I'm like starting to tear because I love when God do something
Yeah.
that.
yeah, our creator is literally curating this. So
I'm
just
so thankful. We said at the same time.
I
Also,
know.
our congressional piece, you all go out to our website and go to womeninag.org, sign the actual petition, get involved. We are literally on the cusp of commencing history in the United States of being the first Black congressional charter organization ever in American history. Our website, our chapter leaders are all there to assist you, however, in your communities. And again, I'm ending by saying it's a great day in ag to make that day. So you all have a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you. Sorry about the in and out, but a girl's got to do what she got to do. And I wanted to show you how you can work it. So no excuses. Bye-bye.